Hello and welcome to Downtime Fun. Today I'm going to try and solve this inside cube puzzle. This one is the mean 0, which should be the third level in the range. There are 6 difficulty levels: novice, regular, mean, awful, vicious and mortal. That is for the normal setup. To kick it up a notch, they also have the Phantom series, which has an extra ball bearing hidden inside the maze to add more confusion. I just realized that there is actually the mortal level with no minimaps and no reset. It sounds quite horrible, and the description mentions that the player may never see the ball bearing again. Well, I don't know. I may consider playing that when I have nothing better to do. Anyway, back to this mean 0. The whole goal is to move the ball bearing from this top window to the bottom window through 7 layers of mazes. I have skipped the novice and regular levels and jumped right into the mean level. Let's see how long it takes for me to solve it, shall we? Studying the maps on the top, it doesn't seem that there are any traps or any sort of dead ends, so that is a good news. Let's start the call lock and just improvise, shall we? And we're starting here in the second row of the first layer of map maze. There is a mechanism to stop the ball bearing from rolling into the maze, so it's quite clever and well designed. And I just have to pop it over and we'll start the maze running. The darker dots on the maps show the holes that for the ball bearing to move from layer to layer. And according to the map, my ball bearing has moved from the top layer and dropped down 6 layers and to the bottom layer, so the 7th layer. And I'm trying to work out if I flip the box, I can move the ball bearing 1 layer back up to the surface. One of the confusing things about the maps is that when I flip the box, all the maps are turned upside down, but not in a mirror image. So I have to try and keep track of where the ball bearing is located, and that is the whole challenge of the game, I suppose, without the dead ends and the traps. As you can see here, at times I have to flip the box back again to backtrack because I'm not sure after flipping the box where the ball bearing is located. Also, I have to, at different points, I had to move the ball bearing to listen to the audible clues and making sure that where I think or I thought the ball bearing is actually corresponding to the maps, because if the ball bearing is lost, then it's very difficult to track the whole progress. See here, I should be at the top layer and on the top left corner where my pointer finger is pointing at, to make sure that the ball bearing is at that place, and I can track which hole I should move through to move up a layer. Again, here I have to check if my ball bearing is at where I think it is. Some of the I have trouble is that the sound is not very consistent. When the ball bearing falls through to the bottom layer, the sound is much clearer or louder, but in the middle it's relatively muffled, so I'm not sure if it's just the build quality that the ball bearing can move very slightly side to side, or it's actually moving at the correct position. And then at this point I realized this is getting very confusing and quite difficult or challenging, because the tunnels or the channels are pretty small in size, so the movement of the ball bearing is very slight. So checking the position is a little bit more tricky. and I'm not even sure if the ball bearing is getting through the tunnel. At this point I was so lost in the maze that I have decided to open the whole puzzle up. It's part of the puzzle design, I didn't break it or anything, and I just want to find the ball bearing, and this is a good chance for you to have a look, take a peek at how the design looks like inside. It's not much of a spoiler given anyone can check it out, but I'm just trying to understand the design. Maybe that's why people will suggest I try the novice or the regular ones before, but no matter, I'll just take the ball bearing out again and reset the whole thing. Given I don't think I will memorize the whole route, it doesn't make a difference by starting it again, and I'll time myself again to get a fairer result. Okay, so take 2. I'll start again, popping the ball bearing into the maze. I know... oh, actually, it's not as fair as I thought. I know the first few moves, but I don't think it does make much of a difference. I'm not entering any competitions. Maybe in the future, if I again have so much time with my hands, I may do some speed runs for the inside cubes. But this is not my only inside cube anyway, so not sure if it's worth doing it also or not. Here I counted the number of holes or how many layers the ball has to travel when I flip the box. I must admit that I am more cautious this run through than the run I did before, so trying to take things a little bit slower to make sure the ball bearing is where I think it should be. Okay, at the 5-minute mark I reached where I got lost, and it's the small short channels again where the ball bearings travel short distances in each layer, and then it moves through to the other layers. It can get quite confusing and not sure where the ball bearing is located. Now here there are a few consecutive holes that I've traveled past through, and then there are some S-shaped channels that I have to walk through. I mean the ball bearing, not myself, but it's very interesting, and I'm actually quite enjoying the whole process of solving this puzzle. One thing that annoyed me slightly is that the surface of this cube, which we are seeing now, the mean0 engraving becomes part of the map, in the sense that it's the maps on the top and the bottom side is not really aligned as the same, so it adds a little bit of a confusion. And also I need to count or to match the location of each of the dots to align the maps, which is not that straightforward. I should have been a little bit more strategic or more systematic, and to make sure that I know on each layer they are actually 6 by 6 squared mazes, so the whole map is 36 voxels big for each layer. That will have helped me to align the holes, so to speak, and I can have a better grasp of where the ball bearing lands when it travels past the holes. Now here again I have to count the number of layers that it has to travel. You can see there are lots of standalone dots, which represents the holes that passes through a few layers before reaching to one of the upper layers here. I think I'm quite close to the end here now. just to make sure when I flip over I know where the ball bearing is, and I have to shake it a little bit to make sure it went through the layers. And now I'm here in the 4th layer from the top. It's a little bit confusing to describe through the video because I keep flipping the whole puzzle around, so but my reference point is that the side which shows the inside cube is the top, so I should be very close. And here I feel something that rolled past my finger, and I think I've done it. Have I? Or have I not? Yes! Finally, less than just a few seconds before 12 minutes, so say give and take 12 minutes, I finally solved this mean0 puzzle. And it's quite a journey, I'd say. It's not as straightforward as I thought. I thought I am quite good at reading maps, but it took me 12 minutes to solve this tricky little puzzle. I really enjoyed this solve, and I'll do a full review on this puzzle later in my channel. If you have done the harder ones in the series, say the Phantom series or the Awful Fishes or the Mortal series, let me know in the comments below and tell me if I should give those a try. Please click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon next to it so you won't miss any of my future solves. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!